don't need to control everything to feel safe. In fact, the more you try to control life, the less peaceful you become. You plan every detail. You replay every conversation. You imagine every possible outcome. And somehow, you still don't feel in control. Here's the truth that can change your life. You were never meant to control everything. You were meant to control yourself. Your choices, your boundaries, your effort, your response, not other people, not their opinions, not their timing, not the future, and definitely not every outcome. Because when you try to control what isn't yours to control, you hand your peace over to circumstances. Someone takes longer to reply. You spiral. Someone misunderstands you. You obsess over explaining yourself. Something doesn't go according to plan. Suddenly, you feel like your entire life is falling apart. But what if nothing is wrong? What if life is simply refusing to follow the script you wrote for it? That doesn't mean you're powerless. It means you're being invited to let go. And letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means stopping the fight against reality. Think about how much energy you spend trying to make people behave differently. Now imagine using that energy to build yourself instead. That's where your power actually lives. So here's the first shift. Separate what you can control from what you cannot. You can control whether you communicate. You cannot control whether someone understands. You can control whether you show up. You cannot control whether you get chosen. You can control your standards. You cannot control whether someone meets them. You can control your reaction. You cannot control someone else's behavior. This distinction can save you years of unnecessary suffering. Because acceptance sounds like, I don't like this, but I can handle it. That sentence is emotional freedom. You don't need everything to go your way to be okay. You need to trust that you can handle life when it doesn't. And that brings us to the second shift. Stop demanding certainty before you allow yourself to relax. You may never know what happens next. You may never know how someone truly feels. You may never know whether the opportunity will work out, but you can still breathe. You can still live. You can still enjoy today, because uncertainty is not the same thing as danger. Sometimes your mind is trying to protect you from a future that hasn't even happened, and you're suffering twice, once in your imagination, and potentially again in reality. So come back to the present. Ask yourself, what is actually happening right now? Not what might happen, not what could happen, not what happened 3 years ago. What is happening right now? Take a breath, feel your feet, look around the room, come back to your life, because your life is happening while you're busy trying to predict it. And if your mind refuses to let go, write it down. Put the fear on paper. Ask, what am I afraid will happen? Then ask, if it happens, what will I do? This changes everything, because control says, I need to prevent this. Trust says, if this happens, I'll deal with it. That is the mindset you want. Not a, I need everything to work out, but a, whatever happens, I will meet myself there. And finally, stop trying to control people you love. Let people be who they are. You can have boundaries without having control. You can walk away without changing someone. You can love someone without managing their every decision. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is, that's their choice, this is mine. Because peace begins when you stop negotiating with reality. You don't need to force every door open. You don't need to chase every person. You don't need to know every answer. You don't need to have your entire future figured out tonight. Your job is not to control the whole story. Your job is to take the next honest step. So release what isn't yours. Protect what is. Choose what you can choose. And trust yourself with the rest. Because the moment you stop trying to control life, you finally have enough energy to actually live it. And maybe that's the freedom you've been looking for all along.